That evening, I showed the photo to classmates. On my phone, the building had 5 floors. Sort of. The top looked like two moments had overlapped. The granite edge doubled, one sharp, one pale, like a shadow of architecture refusing to line up. The fifth floor was there the way it glitches there, enough to ruin your sleep, not enough to win an argument. Camera bugged, someone said. Heat shimmer plus phone processing, another offered. I put the phone away. I didn't care about their belief. What I cared about was the stone. I took it out in my dorm room and set it on the table. Under the lamp, ordinary. Mica, quartz, feldspar. A rock. But my fingers kept noticing the same thing. The glassed vein, the fracture fused where it should have been rough, as if the heat had begun there. The next day, I brought it to the lecturer. If it was ordinary, he would say so. He was packing his bag, moving with the slow annoyance of a man whose life is organized around schedules and other people's questions. I found something, I said. I put the stone on his desk. He barely looked. Granite. And? He took it, turned it, inspecting the quartz vein. His thumb paused on the glassed edge. Not excitement, hesitation. This side's been exposed to high heat, hot enough to change the quartz. Vitrification. My throat tightened. From a fire? He shrugged. Fire, but not casual flame. A furnace, maybe. Industrial heat. Where did you get it? I couldn't say from the 5th floor. Near the old gate, I said instead. By the building. He looked at me for a long second. Interesting. He pushed it back. His dismissal should have settled it. It didn't. The explanation was neat. The seam in the quartz wasn't. I tried to go home. I made it as far as the courtyard before turning back toward the geology wing. If it was only fire damage, I needed to see what real heat damage looked like. I turned back, hoping I wasn't too late. I was. The university museum was already closed, but the side door near the geology wing stood open. A red-haired student in a white lab coat sat at a long table between wooden trays, sorting stones into groups that looked identical to me. He looked up. If you're here for the mammoth tooth, it's not real. I'm not. Good. Then I don't have to pretend it's worth looking at. He pushed one tray aside with the back of his wrist. Dust had collected along his sleeve. A handwritten sign on the table said, "First year field practice. Collection work." Field practice? I asked. He glanced at the trays. Apparently, today the field is boxes. He picked up a gray pebble and dropped it into a tray with 5 other gray pebbles. Igneous, sedimentary, metamorphic, dusty, more dusty, stones no one has needed since 1978. He said it flatly, but not angrily, like he had been alone too long and the words had started coming out by themselves. Everyone else left? Everyone else had better survival instincts. He looked at me properly then. Do you need something? I took the stone from my pocket. I found this near the old gate. That changed him. His eyes fixed on the fracture before his hand moved. Can I? I set it on the table. He picked it up with more care than he had given anything in the trays. Granite, he said. Quartz vein. I know that part. His thumb moved along the broken edge and stopped. The dusting cloth slid from his other hand onto the table. What? He turned the stone under the lamp. The quartz caught the light wrong, glassy at the heart of the vein, dulling outward into the granite. That's not normal, he said. It was the first useful sentence anyone had said all day. The lecturer called it fire damage. Maybe. He didn't sound convinced. Maybe? Fire damages the surface. This looks like the heat followed the vein from inside. He looked at me then. Where near the old gate? By the old Mercer house. His face changed again, smaller this time. Recognition before he could hide it. He reached for one of the lower boxes under the table. Of course, he said. The Mercer samples. The box label was half peeled, written in old ink and newer pencil over it. Mercer House, Old Gate, Granite Fragments. He opened it. Most of the stones inside were ordinary. One wasn't. It lay in a corner slot, cracked along a pale vein, the same glassy wrongness running through it. He lifted it out and set it beside mine. The two pieces did not fit together. That was worse. They looked like they had come from the same injury. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. When he said quietly, "I'm Anton." Ian. He did not look away from the stones. "Do you want to help me finish sorting the boring ones?" he said. "Or do you want to tell me where you really found this?" I looked at the closed museum door, then at the two fractures under the lamp. Both, I said. I tried to tell him the least insane version. The catalog, Mercer, the 5th floor, the stone on the sill. It still sounded insane, but at least I left out the part where it had felt like an invitation. Anton listened without interrupting. That was worse than disbelief. When I finished, he only said, "Show me." So I took out my phone. Anton stared at the screen for a long time. "Compression artifact," he said. "Is it?" He zoomed in until the image broke into squares. The shape above the 4th floor blurred further, almost disappearing. Then he zoomed back out. It was still there. "No," he said. He set the phone down beside the two stones. For the first time, the museum felt too small. "I want to see the building," he said. "You might not see anything." Anton looked at the fractured quartz under the lamp. "Then I want to see what I don't."